ChatGPT, how to market, the basics we teach. Because most of them cannot afford computers and they have no access to them. And similarly, we have something called celebrations. Celebrations is celebrating your loved ones on their anniversaries, on their birthdays, on their death anniversaries. You can contribute to any of the causes that Vishwa showcases on its platform, vishwa.org. You could, Annadanam for instance. There are a lot of people across the country who, when they go to hospitals, they come up from far-off regions and they little money they have, they keep it aside for the treatment of the patient. They sleep on platforms, they hardly eat anything. And we give them food every afternoon on Fridays, and it makes a lot of difference. There are similar such fundraisers. Please feel free to celebrate your loved ones with any of these causes.
Vishwa's commitment towards zero waste and the long way to go in achieving the goal begins with our material donation drive. Conducted twice a year during Diwali and Ugadi in Hyderabad, this drive collects clothes, books, toys and other used or semi-used items for the underprivileged. Contributions from over 615 plus families have benefited around 2,800 individuals, providing essential items and support, bringing hope and dignity to them. Through these efforts, we transform the waste of some into the treasure of others, promoting sustainability and community welfare.
Namaskaram. A very good morning and welcome to Vishwa Talks. My name is Trishant and I thank you all for attending today's event on Zoom and to those watching on YouTube Live. For those of you who have attended the Vishwa Talk before, a warm welcome back. And for our new joinees, here's a little bit about us. Vishwa Talks is here to create awareness amongst people and to protect our social heritage and to let people make their own decisions. Here we invite experts to discuss and explore diverse opinions, different perspectives, various issues, problems, and their solutions on various fields, including art and culture, healthcare, environment, education, and many more. So far, we have covered over 200 talks. Each webinar is an interactive session with a deeper understanding of the topic at hand. If you missed any part of the session or would like to go through the previous session, please go through our website, vishwa.org, or you can visit our Vishwa Talks YouTube channel for a full library of past Vishwa Talks on various interesting topics. This session is curated to shed light on our Constitution and to reconnect with the Constitution Day, which is on November 26th. It gives me great pleasure to introduce our distinguished speaker, Mr. Shanti Bhushan Rao Uppala, a professional whose journey beautifully weaves together the worlds of software, business consulting, and the legal profession. With over 25 years of rich and diverse experience, Shri Shanti Bhushan Rao began his career in software and business consultation before discovering his true calling in the field of law. He started his legal journey as an associate under Senior Designated Counsel Shri Deepak Bhattacharjee, where he represented nationalized banks, major universities, and even the Secunderabad Cantonment Board before the High Court of Andhra Pradesh. His dedication, clarity of thought, and strong sense of justice soon led him to establish himself as an independent practitioner. He also had the unique opportunity of being associated with the Office of Honorable Justice Srimati Nanda Surapalli at the High Court for the state of Telangana, an experience that added immense depth to his legal acumen. Beyond the courtroom, he has been a dynamic force in advocate welfare, serving as Joint Secretary of THCAA in 2018-19 and currently as the first Secretary of the Telangana High Court Advocates Association 2024 and 2025. His vision and leadership were instrumental in achieving a milestone, enabling the first ever batch of 30 certified international mediators from the High Court Bar Association. In his own words, his unique strength can be summed up in one powerful line: he helps his clients avoid going to court. Today, we are privileged to hear from someone who not only understands the law, but also believes in resolving conflicts with wisdom, compassion, and foresight. As we dive into today's discussion, I would like to inform the audience that our speaker will be taking questions from you after the main talk. So please leave your questions in the chat box or use the raise hand tool and we will allow you to ask your questions in person. I request everyone to turn on your webcam for the interactive part of the webinar. Request you to keep the questions concise and short. Kindly ask one question at a time so that the other participants can interact as well. Please limit the interaction part to questions, and you can share your experiences, opinions, and perspectives in the chat box. Without further ado, let's welcome Sri Shanti Bhushan Rao Uppala as he shares his inspiring journey and valuable insights into understanding the soul of the Indian Constitution. Good morning again, sir.
Good morning, Trishant. Good morning to all the participants. Today we have gathered in this program to know and understand the soul of the Indian Constitution. And everything starts with that three words, we the people. So, to start with, what is Constitution is the first thing every citizen of this country would be, liking to know what is Constitution. Constitution is a fundamental law of a state. Usually we refer to our country as a nation and country, but in legal terms, we refer it as a state. So, Constitution is the fundamental law which defines, which guides its citizens, and it establishes a structure of the government to administer the governance of the nation. Our Constitution is branched into three parts. The first part is legislature. What is legislature? We have a democratic form of government wherein people, we the people, choose our representatives to represent us before the parliament, wherein all the members' representatives gather and discuss the issues of the citizens of this country. Accordingly, whatever kind of laws needed, those laws are made in the parliament. That particular branch is called as legislature. And once the laws are made, they have to be implemented. To implement the laws made, we have another branch. We call it as executive. And executive's duty is defined by the Constitution to implement the laws, the policies. Every welfare activity need to be administered by the executive. And when these implementations are in progress, the citizens and the system of executive may have a difference of opinion or difference of thought. When such differences come, and if a citizen complains of any grievance with their administrative system or their process of implementing the laws and the policies, there is a need of a system, a branch, which has to review the particular implementation process or the implementation of the policy. Further, the Constitution gives us another branch called judiciary. Judiciary is independent of legislature and executive. It works on its own. It does not get in any format, in a form of influence from these two branches. But it is pivotal that these three branches work in cooperation and coordination so that the people of this country get governed and supported with their welfare till the last citizen of this country. And what else the Constitution do? A Constitution defines rights of citizens. What all rights a citizen can enjoy in his day-to-day life is defined by the Constitution. We also call them as fundamental rights. We have other two, but fundamentals are core. And this Constitution also defines our responsibilities. We call them as fundamental duties. Every citizen has rights. At the same time, every citizen has duty towards his country. The Constitution, as I said, is the fundamental law of the state. It defines the legal framework. By the Constitution, Supreme Court of India is formed and guided the way it functions, what are its powers, what are its limitations. Every aspect is being defined by the Constitution. So every nation will have a constitution, like a country like British has unscribed constitution. We have a scribed constitution, and ours is said to be the longest written constitution in the world. Why is that Constitution of India called as a constitution which is longest written? That I'll come to you. First of all, before going to it, we should know, and we should be knowing about and be grateful to those great luminaries who have given us this constitution. Where from we got this? On 9th December 1946, a constituent assembly is formed by indirect selection to form and draft a constitution for the country India that is going to be declared independent on 15th August 1947. When such legislative assembly, the constituent assembly is formed by 209 members and attended on 9th December 1946 by 207 members, the Constituent Assembly first resolved to form a drafting committee to draft constitution for the Indian domain. And the members of the Constitution Drafting Committee were headed by Dr. B.R. Ambedkar as a chairman, and the eminent jurists in the drafting committee were Alladi Krishnaswamy Iyer, N. Madhava Rao, Benegal Narsinga Rao, S.N. Mukherjee, Sayyid Muhammad Saadullah, and Jugal Kishore Khanna, and Keval Krishnan. These were the eminent jurists who have conducted extensive research and studied existing constitutions, Constitution of America, Constitution of Ireland, Constitution of Britain, Constitution of Australia, and thereafter they have come up with a draft constitution for our nation. The draft constitution was submitted to the Constituent Assembly on 26th November 1949. At that time, our constitution had 395 articles, 8 schedules, and 22 parts. Our constitution was adopted on 26th November 1949 by the Constituent Assembly. That's the reason we commemorate 26th November as the Constitution Day every year. Now at present, we have 448 articles, 12 schedules, and 25 parts. This Constitution of India was adopted on 26th January 1950, and we celebrate the day when the Constitution of India came into force as a Republic Day. As children, we know that every year we used to celebrate in our school. Today we celebrate in our respective places wherever we are. Our Constitution is said to be a living document. Why they call it as a living document? For the reason our Constitution gives us the option of changing it as per the needs of the times. When we got independent, we were an underdeveloped country. Today, we are in principle, a developed country. This generation has got a different lifestyle, different culture, different, approaches towards life, day-to-day life. So it demands improvement in the laws made 75 years ago. That provision is there in our constitution. So it lives with the generations, according to the generations, for the generations. That's the reason it is called a living document. How does and what article of our constitution gives us that ability to make it a living document by amendments? Article 368 of our constitution gives us that power. When it guides us how to amend a constitution and constitutional provisions. Initiation of an amendment is always done by the parliament. The amendment is always done by the parliament because it has the people, representatives, who know the day-to-day life of citizens of this country and the issues faced by them, welfare needed by the people of India. So, first it is presented in Lok Sabha, then Rajya Sabha, and thereafter a bill is passed with a special majority in the parliament by the two houses. Once a bill is passed, if it needs intensive approval, it goes to the states. Ours is a union of states. We have governance in central and governance at state. The parliament of the nation is called as Parliament of India, and the parliaments in the states, we nomenclature them as assemblies. They are represented by the local member of legislative assembly, and local to the state issues are addressed in the assemblies. So that such assemblies are also given power to give their consent and any kind of objection if they have with regard to any kind of amendment to the parliament. After the states, we have the first citizen of this country, the President of India. President of India's assent is being taken to finally conclude that any kind of proposed amendment which has been endorsed by the member of parliaments and member of legislative assembly is finally implemented. The president gives the orders. That's how every time this nation and the citizens' day-to-day life requires any correction or any kind of updation, what we call, into the constitution of our country, such thing is done by the amendments given the power by the Article 368. That is the reason we call it as a living document. Next slide, please. Now coming to what our constitution is and to understand its foundation, we have introduced ourselves with a statement. The introductory statement of our constitution gives us an idea, not only to us, to the world, that what is India, what the people of India are, and we name it as preamble. And the preamble starts with the caption of the day is we the people of India, having solemnly resolved to constitute India into a sovereign, socialist, secular, democratic republic, and to secure to all its citizens. This is the greatness of our constitution. It is given by the people, to the people, and for the people. It defines, the preamble defines sovereignty of this country. We are sovereign. We are not influenced by anybody. We administer ourselves. We govern ourselves. We take care of all our welfare and all our, challenges. And we are a socialist country. We live equally between ourselves. We have no discrimination towards anybody. Every citizen is equal. Every citizen has equal rights, equal duties, and equal treatment in every aspect and departments or places of this country. And we are secular. We give the right to the citizens that every citizen can practice their faith, their belief, and their culture. So we are also defined as secular, and we are democratic. Nobody is a king here. Nobody is forever here. Every person who's governing this country, or who is been elected as a representative, who has the power to administer governance and day-to-day process policies, is not forever. We elect them through our electoral process, and we give opportunity to those people whom we believe that the person is able to represent us and take decisions, give a consent in all the welfare activities. We are a republic. Again, the same. We govern ourselves. We are independent. And we have formed these kind of governance system so that we secure all the sovereignty, socialistic provisions, and secularistic privileges and democratic way of administration to all our citizens. Our preamble also gives us about what is our justice system. A court of law, everybody is equal, as I said before. It's social, and we also have economic justice. Every citizen has a right over the resources of this country, and every citizen should be given proper opportunities to make his living and live a life of dignity. And we also give political justice to ourselves. What is political justice? Every citizen can be part of the administration. Every citizen has a right to represent himself and the people who believe in him. That is the kind of justice system we have. We give ourselves liberty of thought. Every citizen can have his own thought process. We have that freedom. We give that liberty to the citizens. Every citizen can express their ideas, their opinions. They can speak out. We give that liberty to every citizen. Every citizen can practice their belief. Nobody is been guided by any hard and fast rule. You can practice what you believe. You can follow whatever is your faith, and you can worship the way you want to. That kind of liberty is given to each and every citizen of this country, and such liberty is given by the Constitution under its preamble. And we treat each and everybody equally. That is the reason we give ourselves equality of status and opportunity. Every job opening in any sector is open to all the citizens. Every citizen can try and get into a job wherever it is available and there is a need. We do not let anybody or partial to any specific sect or group. Every citizen has right to opportunities, and he can right to have a dignified state of life. Preamble even promotes the fraternity, assuring the dignity of the individuals and the unity and integrity of the nation. It is said by the eminent people that the unity of nation, depends on the unity the nation establishes in its citizen. We are Indians. That's the first thing what our constitution gives. We are brothers and sisters by our constitution. Our constitution makes us that we are Indians. That's how the fraternity floats, prevails. In our constitution and assembly, 68th day, that is 26th day of November, we have adopted the constitution and enacted it on 26th January. This is how our constitution is. Just by reading the preamble, we can understand, anybody can understand what the Constitution of India is and what it contains. Next slide, please. As I said before, we are bestowed with fundamental rights. Fundamental, why we call it as fundamental? Any right can be questioned, but not the fundamental. Fundamental rights are like right to equality. It is defined under Article 14 to 19. What it guarantees? It guarantees equality before the law. You go to court, nobody is favorite, nobody is being favored, no partiality towards anybody. Every citizen is a citizen, that's all, irrespective of their social status, economic status, and any other factor to claim a dominance. No, our constitution gives us a fundamental right to equality before the law. Law treats each and every citizen before it as equals and prohibits discrimination on the ground of religion. No, as everyone knows that we are a country of many religions, many races, many castes, many different sects, and places of birth. As I said, we identify ourselves from the place of birth, but nobody is allowed to discriminate the other on the basis of these factors like religion, big or small, elite or poor, races. That's the reason in this country now people are progressing as people, not by their religion or race, not by their place of birth or caste. Such development or progress in this country is happening now just because our constitution gives us the first and fundamental right, that is right to equality. If any citizen is aggrieved by the treatment or discrimination by any other individual, group or institution, the citizen can claim right to equality and he can question the treatment. And the same can be, as I said, be reviewed by the court of law. The next fundamental right we have is right to freedom. It is defined under Article 19 to 22. What does the right to freedom include? Freedom of speech, the press, media, and the kind of demonstrations we get everywhere is because of right to freedom, which gives us freedom of speech. We can speak our opinion, we can speak our ideas, we can speak our beliefs, and we can express our opinions, as I said before, and we can assemble for any good cause. We can assemble to support any good cause, any good activity. For a positive reason, you can assemble. That freedom is given by right to freedom. We can form an association. We nowadays come across in every cluster of residential areas, in every employment areas, for the welfare of the members, we usually form societies and associations. To form an association of our own and have our own rules of its administration, such right is given to us by the right to freedom. Right to movement. There is no restriction for a citizen of a state to move to another state, from one city to another city, from one side of the country to other side of the country. There is no restriction. Anybody can go to any place in the country and settle down, live there, and make their living. Such right is given by the second right, fundamental right, that is right to freedom. Right to residence, as I said, a person from Telangana, that to Hyderabad, can go and buy a property in the northeast, in Jammu and Kashmir, in Kanyakumari, in Mumbai, at any stretch, any part of India. You can go and form your accommodations there. You have been given that right by the Constitution. And the right to practice any profession. There is no restriction. that you do so and so, and your son will do so and so, and your grandson will even follow the so and so. Such restrictions are not there now, because that right is given to us by the Constitution to adopt or get into any kind of profession we choose to. These freedoms are subject to certain restrictions as public order or national security. As I said, every freedom has its limitation, and the limitation is defined by the Constitution. Anything you do, anything you profess, anywhere you stay, the only limitation is your activities, your deeds should not disturb the harmonious public order, should not in any way affect our national security. These kind of moral restrictions are there. Sometimes we nowadays see recent news which wherein citizens of this country were influenced and they have acted in such a manner that it affected the national security. Such activities are not allowed under any kind of right in the Constitution. Indeed, it has been restricted. The third right, right against exploitation, it's defined under Article 23 to 24. Right to live with all dignity is what it means. Nobody can be exploited for any reason under any circumstances. This right prohibits all form of forced labor. Previously, there used to be an annual contract. And if the father who has taken, a hand loan from the landlord, if he's not working to the extent that his loan is repaid, or a software engineer whose certificates are bequeathed with the company, amounts to forced labor. No private company, no public limited company, or any organization can force a citizens to labor with them under any circumstances for whatever condition it is. We come across nowadays, biggest sector in the country is the software that people take, institutions take their certificates and put a condition that until and unless you complete so and so period with us, in whatever circumstances we are asking you to work, we will not return the certificate. Such thing amounts to forced labor. And human trafficking, it's an inhuman activity. You cannot compel a citizen of this country to do something which is immoral and against to the will of the citizen. That is very, illegal in this country. And any citizen who is a victim or aggrieved by such acts can seek his right against the exploitation before the court of law. It also prohibits the employment of children in hazardous jobs. Children are meant to go to school, learn their education, have their education, get ready for their adulthood life, learn about the society, learn about the life on this place. If they are made to do labor, it naturally amounts to depriving the child's rights to a free education, free life, learnings, enjoyment in terms of, sports and activities, health. Keeping that in mind, the fundamental right is added with, like, hazardous jobs are not supposed to employ the children. It saves our future of our country, future generations of this country. The next right is right to freedom of religion. It is defined under Article 25 to 28. As we all know, this is a country with diverse religions, faiths, beliefs, practices. to ensure freedom of conscience and the right to freely profess, practice, and propagate one's religion. It also includes a freedom to manage religious affairs and freedom from taxes for the promotion of any particular religion. You can profess your religion. You can also go and promote your religion. You are not restricted. Until, as I said, there are two things to keep in mind before enjoying the right of a citizen is make sure your activities does not affect public order and national security. You have all the freedom to profess the religion you belong to or you want to adopt. And you can have your religious affairs. You can go and perform the rituals. You can have a place of rituals. You can even develop your institutions to have your religious gatherings. There is no restriction. It is indeed a fundamental right. The next right is cultural and educational right. That is defined under Article 29 and 30. This right guarantees the right of any section of citizens to conserve their distinct culture. Again, we are a diversified society. We have multiple arenas of livelihood. We have mountain tribals, forest tribals. We have plateaus where the culture and living of a person or a citizen of this country will be totally different from the other. So every citizen can protect their culture, and they can work for enrichment of their culture, because culture defines your origin. Culture defines your family system. It affects your family system, family life. So culture is most essential for every citizen and his family to maintain an order. And right to education. Right to education and establish educational institutions and administer. Our country has got demographical differences in terms of numbers. We define them as majority and minorities. So to save minorities from any kind of grievances from either the administrative powers or demographic powers, demographic majorities, it is the right of every citizen to establish his own institutions, to promote its education, and administer those institutions on its own. That's the reason in this country, the minorities even have established their institutions and teachings with regard to their culture, their faiths are being promoted. And such possibility happened in this country because our constitution gives such right as a fundamental right to its citizens. Nobody, as I said, everybody is equal. You could be, majority in demography. You may be a minority in demography, but you have all the rights equally to each kind of, people and sects. The last right, that is fundamental right to constitutional remedies. What if a citizen faces some adverse scenarios or circumstances? What if his rights are breached? What can a citizen do? Then such thing is, even the constitution gives a remedy to such situations also, or such circumstances, such grievances. Under Article 32, what is that? It provides the right to approach the Honorable Supreme Court of India for the enforcement of these fundamental rights. And this is considered a cornerstone of the Constitution, as it gives citizens the power to seek legal recourse if their rights are violated. Our judicial system, as I said before, is there to monitor, to review actions of individuals, group, or government. As and when fundamental rights of a citizen or a group of citizens are breached, such citizen can approach the apex court of this country, the Supreme Court of India, to enforce one's fundamental rights. The Honorable Court takes the onus and directs the concerned to uphold your rights and not to breach any fundamental rights of any citizen or any group of people or any institution of this country. This is the cornerstone. Why? Because there are laws and policies made and implemented, but even they are checked for their righteousness. That's the greatness of our Constitution, wherein we have the 6 fundamental rights which will save a citizen, empower a citizen, encourage a citizen in all circumstances. Next slide, please. When a human being is given rights, that's a great part. Everybody enjoys rights. But as I said, the order, public order, and public assets, public matters of public importance have to be saved, have to be valued. What does our Constitution say about saving and valuing our public and common assets, public interest, common interest? For that, Article 51A of our Constitution gives us fundamental duties. To abide by the Constitution is our fundamental duty. Do not anytime breach any of the guidelines of our Constitution. Respect its ideals and institutions. We are a duty, bounded duty, to respect the institutions, constitutional institutions. The national flag, it's our pride. It's our bounded duty to respect our national flag and the national anthem, which unites us as people of one family, one country. So it's a bounded duty, it's fundamental duty of every citizen to respect our national anthem, to cherish and follow the noble ideals which inspire our national struggle for freedom. We are enjoying this sovereign life, this free life, independent life in an independent nation. And it is because the noble ideas and the people who have inspired us, who have struggled to get us the independent nation, we have to cherish their sacrifices. We need to take them as ideals, and we have to follow their idea of India. That's our fundamental duty. And we are a duty to uphold and protect the sovereignty, unity, and integrity of this country. As I said, this country has earned its sovereignty after sacrifices of many of great people, many of citizens of this country. So it's being the generation, next generation of those great noble souls. It's our duty to uphold and protect the sovereignty of this country. We have to act in such a manner that we uphold the integrity of this nation. Let us not do anything that disturbs the unity of this country's citizens. Let us indeed endeavor to strengthen the unity existing in the citizens of this country, and integrated India with integrity is all what the world praises, appreciates, respects. Our duty to promote harmony and spirit of common brotherhood amongst all the people of India, transcending religious, linguistic, and regional or sectional diversities, to renounce practices derogatory to the dignity of women. Three aspects. One thing is we have to promote harmony. That's what I even said before, that let us act in a manner that we promote brotherhood. Whatever might be our color, our religion, our language, our place of birth, let us not get them into the bonding we could build as a brotherhood between citizens of this country. We have to practice. We have right to practice religion. We have right to speak any language of ours, our mother tongue. We could be of any region. We could belong to any region of this country. Let us not get those things affect our brotherhood. At the end of the day, we stand as the citizens of India. That's what the duty means. Let us also take care of one more thing. This country and its culture always upholds the dignity of women. We respect them and we take pride in their presence in the society and their contribution to the society. So let us not indulge in any act which is derogatory to the dignity of a woman. That's our fundamental duty. To value and preserve the rich heritage of our composite culture. As I said, we are not of one creed, one sect, one color, one language, one culture. Every 10 kilometers, I think, if you travel this country, you'll find a different, culinary acts and different dressing system, different, religions or different practices, different accommodations. Totally, you will find multiple number of cultures every 10 to 15 kilometers you pass from this country. Yes, roads. So this composite culture is really a pride to this nation. We hardly find this kind of composite culture in the world anywhere else. So it's fundamental duty of every citizen to value and preserve the heritage, rich heritage of our composite culture. We've been called, we are the most civilized and the earliest civilized society on earth. And from the days of civilization till date, we have good amount of heritage in this country, which gives the next generation the pride in their culture and in their lifestyle. It's like an education, source of education to live better. So that's the reason this duty is bestowed upon us. Our duty to protect and improve the natural environment, including forest, lakes, rivers, and wildlife, and to have compassion for living creatures. As it is said, it's a dynamic constitution. The constitution just not limit to welfare of the human beings of this nation, living in this nation. The constitution guides us that how we should be with the environment of ours, the forests we have, the lakes of this land, the rivers, and the wildlife in the forest. And to have compassion to living creatures means even an insect matters there. A bird matters. Animal matters. even we treat the trees as living beings. We treat them on par with humans. The Constitution bestows the duty on us that let us protect our environment, our lakes, our rivers, our forest, and the wildlife. And in total, let us protect every living being. The next duty on us to develop scientific temper, humanism, and spirit of inquiry and reform. We should develop our scientific temper means every good part has to be studied and excuse and researched and improved. But whenever you do that for human welfare, you have to keep in mind that your activity should have humanism. You should have the spirit to inquire and reform. It is your duty to reform. It is your duty to develop. It is your duty to improve. For the nation, for yourself. To safeguard public property and to abjure violence. It is your duty. You cannot say that there is something damaging is happening. You cannot just walk away. That's not a trait of a responsible citizen of this country. Our Constitution bestows us with the duty to safeguard the public properties. Let not somebody damage it for whatever reason. Let not somebody cause violence. As a citizen, you can step in and see to it that violence is not prevailed. It should be curbed. And public properties are saved. Let's not damage it for whatever reason, and let's not let anybody damage for whatever is the reason. So such a duty is on us. And that duty is given by our Constitution to strive towards excellence in all spheres of individual and collectively, so that the nation constantly rises to higher levels of endeavor and achievements. As I said, education, research, development by an individual leads to national development. It is a duty to improve. And the last one is whoever is a parent or a guardian to provide opportunities for education to his children, as the case may be, ward between the age of 6 and 14 years. Our Constitution even takes care of the young children. It is guiding the parent to make sure his ward between the age of 6 and 14 is given proper education, proper opportunities. Next slide. What are our constitutional values and what they say? Excuse. Sovereignty is our constitutional value. The nation is its own supreme authority, free from external control. India is a sovereign country, sovereign nation, and such sovereignty is declared in our Constitution. We are supreme to ourselves. There is no external control on our living. our existence, our identity, our way of life. That makes us a sovereign nation. And socialism is one value, a commitment to ending inequality and promoting social change. As I said, we are a nation of diversity. Until and unless we treat each and every citizen equally and let them equal opportunities, let them equal education, let them equality before law, equal progress or balanced progress indeed cannot be visualized. To make this country grow equally in all dimensions, we adopt the socialism as our value, that to our constitutional value. Secularism is a third constitutional value. The state is not guided by any single religion. It is obvious our country has got many religions. Our people practice and have faith in many religions, diverse religions. To maintain an equilibrium, our state, that is our country, does not adopt any single religion that is there in our constitution. We are democratic. Democracy is our value. A system of governance where the people elect their representatives. As I said, nobody is a king here. Nobody is forever at the helm of affairs. Ours is a democratic country. We, the people, choose our representatives every 5 years. And we decide who to be at the helm of affairs. And we choose who is supposed to be given the onus of administering the day-to-day life of this country, the citizens of this country. That's our core value. And we are republic. Here, head of a state is elected, the chief minister, the prime minister, the president, the vice president, the governor. They go through the process of election. We elect member of Legislative Assembly and they elect a chief minister. He is the head of the state. And we elect member of parliaments. They elect the prime minister. All the MLAs, MPs elect a president. That's how the head of the states go through the process of election, but not any kind of hierarchy or inheritance. Our core value has justice. The Constitution guarantees social, economic, and political justice for all citizens. As I said, opportunity of work, opportunity of job, opportunity to make earnings, opportunity to participate in the welfare issues of people, opportunity to represent people are guaranteed to every citizen by the Constitution. At the same time, it promotes a judicial system where you have been adjudicated, your issues, your grievances are adjudicated with equal social, economic, and political state. It does not discriminate in terms of your social status, your economic status, or your political status. Nobody is bigger than the other. Nobody is favored than the other. Everybody is equal. Such is our judicial system, and such system is given to us by the Constitution. Liberty, equality, fraternity. What is liberty? Again, we came in the fundamental rights. We have all the liberty to expression, belief, faith in worship, equality, ensuring equal status and opportunity for all, fundamental rights, fraternity, promoting a sense of brotherhood, fundamental duty, dignity of individuals, protecting the dignity of every person in society is also a fundamental duty. It's in our core values. Unity and integrity of the nation, again a fundamental duty. Next slide, please. This is what I have to say when we say we the people of India and what we gave ourselves in the name of Constitution of India. I welcome any questions from the guests with regard to today's topic. Trisha.
Yes, just a moment. Thank you so much, sir, for the session and the wonderful PPT and for the insights you dropped on understanding the soul of Indian Constitution. Before we move on to the Q&A, I'd like to just take 30 seconds of your time for a quick poll that this will help us get to know you better and tailor the future topics that we bring to you. A big thanks to everyone here today. Your presence and participation means a lot to us and makes this webinar a success. I request all the participants to quickly interact with the poll questions. I'm going to give a brief of what we spoke about up until now, what Sir has explained. Sir presented a comprehensive overview of the Indian Constitution. He covered the constitutional foundation, the drafting date, who it was headed by, how many articles it had in the start, how many schedules and parts, how much it has evolved up till now, and how many articles it has now, why it is called a living document. He mentioned about the preamble. He mentioned about the 6 fundamental rights. He mentioned about the fundamental duties, Article 51A. And then going finally to the constitutional values. With this, I'd like to now invite Vishwa's founder, Shivani Mullapudi, to initiate the Q&A session.
Namaskaram,
Namaste.
Bhushan garu. It was a wonderful session, very knowledgeable. In fact, from when I was a kid, we used to celebrate the January 26th Republic Day, but the way you have explained it was very good. Yeah, thank you. And also thanks to the Vishwa team and thanks to all the participants who are here to always support Vishwa Talks and to spread the importance of our social heritage and what we have. Thank you to each of the people who are here. I'll just quickly go through the upcoming talks and move on to the question and answer session. The next session is on emotional intelligence in the Bhagavad Gita by Mr. P.G. Bhatt, professor at RVU. The date is 29th November, 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. Next is the slides being shown, Prashant? Yeah, the next slide is community engagement for environmental entrepreneurship, Dr. W.G. Prasanna Kumar. He's the senior social scientist, Pollution Control Board. This is on 6th November, 6th December 2025, 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. We've had more than 10 talks on zero waste, the impact on the environment. And as a continuation, we've asked Mr. Prasanna Kumar, who's from the Pollution Control Board, also to participate. It'll be a different perspective of a very important topic because we are at the tipping point of contaminating our earth for the future generations. Yeah, The next talk after that is parent-child interaction and play using stories and props. Apramita Deshpande, founder, Cubolt, Cubolt,
Hoplot.
Cublot Creative Lab, 13th December 2025, 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. I request all the participants to share it with your friends and family because Vishwa Talks is more spread through word of mouth than anything else. Thank you so much. With this, we'll move on to the question and answer session. Mr. Shmuel, would you like to ask your question?
Yeah, you hear me
Yes.
now?
Yes.
Okay, thank you very much. Very interesting and excellent presentation. And I want to ask next question. I want to ask you how Constitution of India protecting on the rights of poor people, on the rights of people from low socioeconomic groups of population.
Can you translate that, Trishant? Translate.
Yes, ma'am.
I think I understood it. Sir is asking how Constitution of India or
Protects the
what
rights
Constitution
of
of
poor
India
people.
protects people of foreign nationals. Is that?
No, sir. He asked, how does the Constitution of India protect the rights of poor people and
from poor and low
Poor people.
and
Poor people.
people from lower social economic status?
Very well, sir. So Constitution guides the government, governing executive and the legislature to make laws, not only guiding them to limit their guiding them their limitations and privileges, it also directs the legislature to make policies which empower and save and protect a dignified life to every citizen who are below poverty line. Also, I mean to say, there are guidelines. As I said, equality before law or equality in all aspects, socio-economic and political. It is the Constitution which made our parliament come up with schemes, welfare schemes, wherein a poor farmer who needs financial support and support of farming materials, equipments, approach infrastructure, all these aspects are promoted in the name of prime ministers, in the name of the chief minister, in the name of a national scheme. We have Narega scheme, which is a product of such mandate by the Constitution to the legislature. And there are farmer-centric schemes. We have industrial labor-centric schemes to reach to the such economically weaker sections. We have schemes to encourage such families to reach to the government institutions available in every nook and corner of every cluster of countryside villages. Initially, those were being established, hospitals, local financial institutions like regional banks, and regional departmental mandate wherein a local body officer is bestowed with a duty to go to the people who are not educated, who are not having economic ability to come to an urban area, who don't have ability to get access to high-end infrastructures which are available to the urban people. The government, through its executive, reaches to such people under a policy made by the parliament, under a policy made by the state legislature. And it is a mandate which is being given by the constitution. That's the reason we call it as our government as a welfare state. First priority, first address should be to the downtrodden, poor people. Now, we have as a national infrastructure UPI. Nowhere in the world it has reached even the corners of urban areas. Whereas in India, such a facility has reached to the remotest village and remotest resident of this country. Technologies are being made to reach every nook and corner of this country and made sure that every citizen gets access to it, gets the ability to access it. That's the reason we call it our country as a welfare state, our government as a welfare state. They have to do it. And that mandate is given by the constitution in all aspects, as a socio-economic and political. Nobody can be discriminated for any reason that they're economically weak, they're socially weak, or they're politically weak.
Shmel, did you get your answer?
Yeah, of course. And I want to ask another short question. I want to ask if Constitution of India protecting on right to different social forms of housing. This is the public housing, different cheap forms of housing.
Nishant, can you help me?
I'm sorry, I'm sorry, sir. Mr. Fiddle, did you mention housing schemes for all sorts of people?
Shmel?
I'm sorry, Shmuel, sir, I didn't get your question. Could you
Yeah,
please type it out? Did you just mention how it helps with housing?
yeah. Housing for people and people from low socioeconomic groups of population. How Constitution of India protecting on the right of poor and low socioeconomic groups of population to different social forms of housing.
Did you get it?
Uh, I'm missing the last bit a little bit. Shmuel, sir, could you please write it down? I think he needs to mention how the Constitution protects the right to housing for from poor backgrounds and lower economic status.
Is that the question, sir? If that's the question, my answer is like this. As I said, the Constitution mandates our legislature. As part of it, there is a living example. Our central government promotes housing scheme to the poor people. We named it as PM Awas Yojana. Means house, the government will build house for the poor. And the scheme is implemented through the state government. All the state governments are supported by the central government under the policy of housing. And in urban areas, they are given double bedroom apartments. In the rural areas, they are given double bedroom houses. So housing scheme is in vogue, sir.
Okay. Does it
I
answer
hope,
your
Shweta, that answers your question.
Thank you very much. Thank
Thank you.
Okay. So there is a question. Now, if everybody is equal, can you explain the reservation system in our country?
That's the point. Yeah. I was expecting this question.
Mhm.
As this country being the earliest civilized, the people at the time of independence who are already economically, socially, and politically rich were not rich for that generation. They were being rich since generations, as they were living in urban areas or living in rural areas with ability and knowledge. Ability due to their knowledge. But majority of people who are basically either tribals or agrarians, they were part of a system where bonded labor system was like prevailing, and they had their own local rules and regulations with regard to their professions, their livelihood. People used to work for grains. That was the state. Even tribals had hardly any access to the urban civilized societies. To bring them on par with the civilized urban people, to bring them onto the rich, educated, and economically rich, enabled people, the reservation system was brought in. So that if the underprivileged, downtrodden citizens who are in majority at the time when the constitution was formed, if they are brought to a level which is on par with the privileged citizens of this country, and then on the country will have a balanced growth. That was the purpose of getting reservation system. And it was only initially it was only for 5 years, as per the respected B.R. Ambedkar sir. He himself insisted this should not go beyond 5 years. But as it is been seen that 5 years was not enough to develop this people, the residents, the citizens of this country, and bring them on par with the urban and abled rural or rich rural people. So it's been extended time and again. Culture does not form in a day, it takes years. And until unless the culture is set, the mindset of a society will not change. And until unless the mindset is changed, discriminative activities or nature of the privileged people will not go away. So for that reason, it is taking such a time. Now, gradually they are working on it. They are limiting the reservation. Reservation is restricted now by law for privileged but scheduled, privileged but marked into the category of reservation. That reforms are underway. 5 years were not enough. For the reason every time the parliament was extending it. So reservation is to bring the downtrodden to the at least ground level, if not to the skies.
So, do we need preservation in education and we need reservation in jobs, right?
Education, jobs, and resources also.
Reservation
Education.
Resources also. For the reason,
What resources?
you have land. An individual in a village used to have 100 acres land.
Okay.
And rest, there would have been 50 to 100 families. They hardly had any land.
Got
If until unless they are given land, they cannot.
Let's go one step at a time. Where is, how much is the reservation kept aside for, in as per the constitution?
As per the constitution, it should not cross 50% of the population.
Is it implemented?
It is. Recent example, in Telangana, local body elections were declared and reservation was reset and it went up to 62%. That was being struck down by the High Court of Telangana the next day.
So it doesn't cross 50% anywhere. Okay.
As I said, there is a watch by the institution called judiciary.
Okay.
They
Second
will
question.
always make sure
Second
it is.
question. Why do we need a reservation in education when India is a country which can afford to have any number of schools and colleges? Right now,
Yes.
which institutions are being given reservations in education? Let's be specific to education.
Reservation in education is there at primary school level, secondary school, higher school, and professional courses. It is there. For the reason, as I said, opportunity, having an opportunity and resource does not suffice to bring the downtrodden, bring the people who are not accessing the civilized life or a dignified life, to encourage those people who are victims, I can use a word, of practices. A practice which used to say, you should not cross this river and go other side.
Let's
That
stick
will.
to education only. Let's stick to education.
Hmm.
Education institutions in primary, secondary, and colleges have reservations, right?
Yes, yes.
Only government colleges, right?
No.
Ah,
Government aided is also there.
government and government aided. Okay. Now, in these government and government aided, what is the attendance?
Yes. You now address the problem for the reservation to be continued. Why reservation is continued? Because
What is the attendance in the colleges right now? Suppose a government college has registered 1,500 students. How many students actually come to school, college every day?
yeah, see, in practice, there are other reasons influencing the attendance of students to the colleges, but admissions are happening. And you can see the difference in last 3 decades. Last 3 decades, if you go back to 1980s, the amount of these reserved category people coming to the professional courses, to advanced courses, was hardly visible. But today, you see them in every sector. That is because the reservation provided to them for such long time in the higher and professional
So my
colleges.
question is specific.
I understand the attendance thing part, what you mean to say.
Yes.
I understand. Ma'am, when it is a government school, there are no strict implementation of attendance. And that gives leverage to the student to, keep very poor attendance with the college. It is a tendency, what we see in practice is that they only go for examination, they don't go for the classes.
Exactly. In your opinion, what is the attendance in the so-called government colleges, schools? What is the attendance?
30% would be maximum, as I know.
That is the ground reality.
Yes, 30%.
So we are telling that we are giving reservations to 50% of our Indian population.
Mhm.
Out of the 50%, only 30%, whether it is teachers, whether it is students, who actually attend the schools.
Yeah, it is a subject to be of concern when it is.
No, let us come to ground reality. This is the ground reality. Now, if you remember, since you are from Hyderabad, there was a time when people in Andhra Pradesh, erstwhile Andhra Pradesh, used to go to learn, to go for engineering colleges to Karnataka or Chennai
Maharashtra and Tamil Nadu.
and Tamil Nadu. Why
Yes.
do you think today people don't go?
Because during, it's my personal knowledge, the period of Chandrababu Naidu Garu as the CM, he has taken a policy decision to have a special drive towards increasing the number of professional colleges in and around Hyderabad and in the district places. At such time, there was a sudden increase in the number of professional colleges here. That has curbed the outflow of students to other states because we were having enough number of professional colleges.
Okay. So I'll correct your information here. My father, Mr. Kavuri Sambasiva Rao, the
I heard
then
this name.
member of parliament, with the support of Mr. Arjun Singh, the minister of HRD, got 60 to 100 colleges permissions in erstwhile Andhra Pradesh.
That was during?
That was probably 15 years ago or 20 years ago.
Same. That's what I was addressing.
So because
I was a student at that time.
he was the person who's instrumental in increasing the number of colleges. Before that, if a college has to be started, one had to
Yes.
take permissions.
Yes.
Once you do not have a restriction and the number of colleges have increased, there is no need for reservation.
Okay. You're correlating the number of colleges.
Absolutely.
That is
Today there are enough colleges. Why do you
with
need
the
reservation?
social welfare activity.
Why do you need reservation if there are this many people who need education and this many colleges available or schools available? Where is the need for reservation in the education system?
I'll bring out the problem in practical. 15 years back, a student of this state, if he want to take admission into engineering college, what was the fees? It was hardly 1 lakh per annum or 50,000 or something like that. I know. Today, you go to the same private colleges which offered 1 lakh or 75,000 per annum. I find that they are charging again 10 lakhs as a donation now.
How much
That's the problem the society will face.
Cost to pay a teacher?
That's what I'm saying. See, ma'am, I understand the private sector will support, but not
giving subsidy for a student is different.
I understand.
But saying you will not be allowed admission because you belong to a particular caste is not right. Give everybody an opportunity to study. Increase the number of seats. Why India cannot afford to have enough number of schools and colleges to admit everyone?
Right now, we just minutes before we discussed, there are schools, there are colleges, there are facilities to reach out. But these reservations are not just about infrastructure. It's about making those people understand that this is their country, this is for them, and they ought to take these facilities or provisions and make them come forward. It is actually a social complexity. There are everywhere in the universe, when there is a drive in one direction, obviously it will face some resistance. As I said before, in social welfare hostels, you will find 100% attendance. In government schools, non-residential schools, you'll find less attendance. In private schools and colleges, which are not elite, which are not brand conscious, you'll find very less attendance. But when you go to private institutions which are brand conscious and which are very prompt in their business, you'll find 100% attendance. So this is a social mindset what matters here.
Antibhushan
And
garu, we are in a very grave situation.
indeed,
You and me know, go to any institution, whether it is a hotel, whether it is a restaurant, whether you go anywhere, no Telugu people are working.
happens. That's the reason I said.
It does not happen. We are in
You are
grave
looking at the creamy layer. I'll go to the ground level. Now, if you find any restaurant, stewards are from which state?
Bengal,
Odisha.
Bangladesh, Orissa, Bihar.
Right. Why?
Because we are giving freebies.
No.
Because our children are supposed to have completed engineering. They don't know engineering. They are 10th class pass, they're 12th class pass. They don't know how to read and write. They are drunk most of the time. None of them come to work. But
Standard of life here does
so
not.
they want to. So they want to not do the menial jobs. So
The standard of life in this state does not give the mindset or a thought to the local people that dignity of labor matters, but not your assumed status. That's the problem what I see. One thing, when you go to construction, the construction employment at ground level is either to the Rajasthanis or Biharis. Because those states don't find
90% of the construction industry in Hyderabad is in the hands of Muslims. The 10% is in the hands of Rajasthanis, UP, and a little bit of Bihar.
Yeah, whatever. But that's what I'm saying. It's not about a particular sect or kind of people. It's people who value it. That this amount of money I am earning at Hyderabad or Telangana or Vijayawada, Andhra Pradesh. People migrate. People only migrate when there is an opportunity or there is a space or a gap. Why there is a gap? Because the people of local have got a different benchmark. Because these states prospered like anything. And the young generation of these states see higher bands and they don't see this low.
Let's come back to education and reservation.
That's what I'm saying.
Back to education and reservation. Please understand, reservations are put. We have in government institutions or government aided institutions, attendance is 30%. Not even 5% are actually educated who are passed out. They do not know how to read and write, except
That problem is there.
purposes. I
That
do
is
not
there.
see a reason of how reservation is helping the required people.
It's of a very larger canvas. And
It is
many factors influence that
just
subject.
like my father has ensured that there are ample engineering colleges here. It is important that the game of reservation in education system has to go away. Any number of colleges that are required have to be started so that there is no need for reservations in the field of education at least. Number one. Number two, vocational training has to be encouraged. As you said,
I agree with you.
of labor and vocational training has to be given extreme importance. Mr. Vasant Kumar, I'm sorry I took up your time. If you're here, just raise your hands. I'll let you ask your question. His question is, can criminals, etc., be allowed to sit in parliament or legislatures to govern us under the constitution?
Right. To answer this, if you are proved or convicted, then you lose your right to contest. One aspect. If you are accused, you are not convicted, then you are a citizen with all nobility until you are proved guilty.
Sir, did Mr. Lalu Prasad Yadav is not able to contest because of that?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, can a particular party, again from Mr. Vasant Mysore Math, can a particular party with huge majority impose on a religious order?
It's not, it party is a term used for, even if it is a majority, it is called, it's a political entity. But once they take, governance into the, like when one into majority, party will be taking the governance into their hands. They will not be the party. They are the government. We, the people who elected them in majority and gave them the governance for next 5 years. When they are in assembly in the state, in the parliament, in the national level, we have given them all the powers to make laws and to make the policies accordingly. If they are doing anything like, as you have asked, imposing anything on a specific category of people belong to so and so, then it's a questionable act. They are not, they have no right to do so, even if it is a majority party or if it is a ruling party or ruling government. If they are doing any activity that can be questioned the minute before the court of law, and court of law will come to your rescue. And the best example is recent incident, that reservation part was crossing 50%. That's been questioned. On that day, even I was personally there in the court hall. There were 50 people who were supporting it. There were only 2 people who were against it. That is increasing the reservation beyond 50%. Court simply sided with those 2 people, not the 50 advocates or whatever.
Sir, why
It
is
was
it temples?
2-day argument, and 2
Fantastic.
seconds, court
Fantastic.
has decided that it will not prevail.
Fantastic. Sir, another question. Why is that temples under our constitution are still under government rule and not mosques or churches?
There is an act, ma'am, made very long back, Places of Worship Act, which binds temples administration control to the government, and that such act is not there with regard to mosque. So mosque or gurudwara or whatever it is, like those institutions are free because they are not included in that act, whereas the Places of Worship Act is made and to take control of all the temples in this country. And until the temple place of worship act is challenged and a decision is taken on it, that cannot be changed overnight. It has to be it has to go through the judicial review.
So, what is the status of this judicial act, sir?
It is prevailing as of now, intact. There are people who are pursuing with regard to it with the ruling government in central. There is a recent voice with regard to it by one of the Supreme Court advocate, Mr. Jaideep is some like his name. He has voiced it, saying that if you are really concerned, then get rid of this Peoples of Worship Act and free them. But it's again subject to persuasion follow-up.
Sir, in spite of having a so-called government which is supposed to be on the side of Hinduism, how is it that Places of Worship Act, even in the last 10 years, has not been?
The same thing, Mr. Jaideep, I think his name.
J. Sai Deepak.
K. Sai Deep, yeah. K. Sai Deep, he has voiced it. Nobody till date has voiced about it. And Sai Deep is a crusader, as of I study him. And he is very much in Supreme Court. So at this minute, he and one more gentleman is also there. Both are voicing this subject, and hopefully it will come to fore within given time. Yes, Mr. Trishant.
Yes, sir. So I basically live in Gujarat, where the present center government comes into power from. And liquor has been banned forever in Gujarat. It's a dry state. And I feel from a layman perspective, even basically 95 to 99% of my friends, also laymen, not working in any government services or political body as such, we see rampant corruption that is basically completely destroying the constitutional values.
Yes.
So it's been banned. All right, I get that. But the usage is way at par with the highest liquor consuming states in Gujarat. Each and
Yeah.
every politician makes money off it because it is banned. Each and every police official in the topmost position get money in their pockets because it is banned. So you basically have all the people elected representatives elected by the people being in charge of corruption, taking in money for liquor coming into the states. Whereas this money should ideally be utilized for the welfare of the state via legal taxation, and the government can utilize the money in a better way. But this is basically the place where all of the black money turns white. Here, it is basically destroying the constitutional values when we are talking about. So, how do I believe that the government that has been elected starting from here is actually, trying to preserve constitutional values or anything per se in the center or in the worldwide view?
There is one fraction need to be focused here is, I said government is formed. Okay, the political system through that we have elect our representatives. They go to the parliament, and they go to the state assembly. They make the laws and policies, and that is implemented by the executive system. These two are watched. Now there is somebody who's supervising these guys, their activities. That's judiciary, right? Now, whatever corruption is happening, whatever ban is creating, if a individual, okay, takes little time and gathers some material, because you have RTI,
Yes.
correct? You have RTI. So it is more effective in the rural areas than urban, what I have seen. If an individual or a group of individuals take little time and with the help of RTI and with the help of practically, like in practice or in real life materials like evidences, and put it before the court of law, I'm telling you that will be addressed appropriately. I'm never saying, I never said that the elected government or the executive are like they're corruption free or they're not human. They are human beings. They have their limitations and limited ability to hold themselves as with integrity. They will do mistake. For the reason there is a judiciary.
So,
People with power do faults because with great
so
power
isn't
comes.
is the judiciary non-corruptible or non-viable?
As a fellow of the system since last 19 years, when I entered into this profession, the first question with me was that, am I into the right profession? Is it not corrupted? Believe my words, Trishant, it's been 19 years. I have seen that judiciary cannot be corrupted. Only thing is, people get prejudiced. I cannot help people getting prejudiced. But I can surely help a person who want to stand and see whether it works or not. Because
Okay.
who are sitting at the adjudication side are also human, but once they sit there, I have seen people, they care a damn about any kind of connect. Just it is in every industry there is a fake team which propagates fake notions, not only narrations, even notions. Okay, and try to make their living. Judiciary or judicial system is also victim of such branch. There will be people who will talk lot many, but I have practically seen. I have seen a fellow who said to me, who has come to me and shown that, sir, this I bought it at 8 lakhs across the media. I'm telling you, he came to me and said, you are a young advocate, you don't know. I am a senior most businessman. I have seen many. I bought many things. He gave me an order copy and said, "This I bought it at this cost." And do you know it was 8 pages order? Okay, and when I have gone through the operative portion of the order, I simply laughed at him and said, "You are a great businessman, but you are a bigger fool." I said, "If you have bought this order, it should be in your favor." He said, "It is in 8 pages order. How judge has written 8 pages order to me?" I said, "See the last line. It did not go in your favor. If you have corrupted the judiciary, if you have earned an order by paying money as if you are buying a trade material, see the last line. Whatever you questioned, an authorities, government authorities' action, he has questioned." And he said, "The order is in my favor." Originally, the Honorable Court said, "The authority is at liberty and all the authority to take its own decision as per law." I said, "Take this order, go to that authority will kick you again and send you back." That within 24 hours, that guy was in my office. Said he has rejected. I said, "That's what. Who? Kaun bolta hai? Who will tell you that you can buy? No, you cannot, because your 8 pages order was against you, not in favor, and you say that you bought it." So it's a notion of that guy. Nobody can help it. It's in him.
So, may I know why has there been left and right use of NSA lately to all the people who basically try to protest in even the most peaceful ways? Um, and it's considered sedition. Even notable scientists have been put into the Sedition Act lately in the last couple of months. And before that, anybody who's trying to sort of protest pre-election, before the election, their words mean a lot. That's why Sedition Act has been thrown upon them,
I'm
and they've not
glad
been
that,
getting justice.
if you have asked me this question 10 years back, I would have had no answer to your question. But today, I can answer you with material evidences. Why there is NSA, why there is central agencies, are visible, not used. They are visible left and right. Why? Because if you are watching news, did you see ever that most powerful nations, first citizen with the most, world's, most powerful position was acting like a nut, acting like a ziddi bacha? Why? What is that this country did to the world? We are living and we are trying to live. And all that they want is, they're declaring across the media. In the international media, they're saying we spent $2 billion to dismantle India. Did you see that news? The richest man, one of the richest trader in the European continent, across the media, before elections, even before 1 year before the election, he declared that I will spend 1 billion to dismantle India. One. After election, he says I spent $2 billion, but I could not dismantle India. Now he has promised to spend $5 billion within 5 years to dismantle India. Now tell me, what is that shows you?
This Mr. George Soros?
Yes. Across the open media, international media is declaring it's a challenge to 1.4 billion population in this country, that one fellow is challenging that I will not let you civilized. I will not let you live peacefully. I will not let you live independent. You are slaves. You have to be slaves. Now, what is that? And what is the connection between these two? When the international vested interest, I call it, I don't call them as countries, I'll call them as vested interest. They are hell-bent on, suppressing us. They took over Sri Lanka, they took over Bangladesh, they took over Nepal, they took over Pakistan, they took over Maldives. Did you see? Is Pakistan living on its own? They are struggling to live on their own. Bangladesh was doing well, now they are also suffering. Now Nepal was doing whatever format it is, from monarchy to democracy. It was doing its fate, it was trying its fate, and it's been disturbed. What did Sri Lanka do? It is no way connected with the rest of the world, but they are getting into, because they want labor. It will address Madam's answer also. They want labor. They want people to work for them. It is a universal, collective ambition, or can say wish, whim.
Okay.
So when those people are hell-bent, they are spending billions of dollars just to disturb the harmonious life of Indians, disturb the educated Indians, disturb the civilized society of India. Obviously, the government is at run to protect its citizens, its cities, its harmony, its sovereignty, its independence. As part of that, naturally it will pick who is being corrupted. A mole in the family.
System.
The weakest fellow is trapped and radicalized or injected or influenced. He's been given lured by wealth. That fellow is trying to act smart. Now, as I know, Trishant is my brother. I am Trishant's brother. Suddenly, Trishant sees that I am acting weird. All my activities are against peaceful environment. What will Trishant do? He will first take me to account. Okay, I know you are elder brother to me, but I will not let you do this. But Trishant don't have the kind of money I have. Because mine is not hard-earned money. Mine is sponsored money. Whereas Trishant has to go do his job, get his salary, feed his family, meet his expenses, needs. What will be left with Trishant? A 10,000 to 1 lakh rupees balance maximum. But I am being sponsored crore rupees a month. Can you withstand my might? You can't. Correct? So, it is, Swami Vivekananda said, no. If you don't have any trouble, it means you are not on your right path. Because whenever a person or an individual or a group or a country goes in right path, it will have challenges. Just the way, if you go into a business sector, Trishant, you are from Gujarat, right?
Yes,
You
I
launch
am in the
yourself-
business sector.
Yeah, if you
Sorry?
go into the business sector and launch yourself in a specific area where your community is not there, I challenge you, you prosper there and come. The existing market dominators will make sure that you quit. Why? Because all they know is this is our chunk of business. This is our cheese, share of cheese. How can Trishant come? If Trishant get established, then he'll start denting our regular income. Is that not the problem?
I don't suppose so. I manage a hospitality business, and my family has been responsible to basically take care of a lot of lower economic
This is
background
what I'm
people.
saying. I'm saying specific sectors, I said. Specific sectors. We usually come across ki inka market hai.
So most teachers here are from Kerala, like especially in my town, Vadodara.
Obviously,
Most
because
professors
Kerala-
are from
yeah. I don't know now what they are doing, but when I was in school, there used to be it used to be a USP. So and so school has got teachers from Kerala. It used to be a USP. Kerala teachers are more recruited for the reason they are good at education and imparting education, and they are good at
Okay.
resettle. They can
Yeah,
go
so
and settle
that's what
anywhere.
it doesn't go with the
Yes.
image you have about Gujarat. But like I'd like to why I was asking about the previous question about the sedition laws. So now one of the people who has been right now been detained under NSA, Mr. Wangchuk, has not only been a scientist, he's been an active environment protector, basically. One of the creators of other ice stupas.
I'll
And
answer
also,
you if you understand Telugu.
so just a minute. No, I basically I'm an afforestier. I've planted a couple of 100 trees in the last few years in different places. One of them being Auroville, which is uh, considered to be a place of no religion, no economy. It's 10 kilometers from Pondicherry. The governing body of the Auroville was changed during COVID. It was done via a very weird process, and the the people who came into power were the ex-health and welfare minister and the education minister of Gujarat, who were then during COVID removed and put in place of power in Auroville. Now, I planted about 800 trees in 2 years in Auroville. Some of them are highly critically endangered species: Indian rosewood, red cedar, mahogany, ebony, all of these trees. I visited Auroville in the last 7 year twice after leaving it in 19. And like me, thousands of Indians have come and volunteered every year in Auroville, planted trees, stayed there, uh, put in money into the economy of Auroville, spent there as tourists, spent there as volunteers. And then within a couple of months, all your work is undone by a fellow Indian. They remove all the trees, they sell it to four different private contractors via four different private contractors.
When you planted trees, how many people, like, members you were when you planted trees?
When I planted trees in my community, there were about 8 members, and four of us used to plant every day.
And where were you, 4 or 8 people, when there was an attempt by whoever it is to take out those
So the
trees?
three of the people who I used to plant with were there in Auroville while the trees were being removed in the
Write
middle of
a
the night.
simple letter to your High Court Chief Justice.
So this this case is gone.
No, 1 page letter you write to the Chief Justice and then tell me that there was no reaction.
There is no reaction, sir. This is a huge thing.
I'll tell you,
It's a very
being
huge
a
case, sir.
practitioner of High Court, sir, I'll tell you, under letter of patents, if a citizen writes a letter without an advocate, without proper format of any petition, that letter will be suo moto taken on record by the High Court and it will be adjudicated and it will, the people concerned will be summoned and questioned. That's what I do when police detain illegally. The fastest remedy, as of like my knowledge goes, was always a Chief Justice of this state. Nobody had it. Because if you go to a district court, they'll simply say file a bail petition. If you
Sir,
go
I
to
have one more example.
No, Trishan, listen to the solution which is visible, which is not visible. Habeas corpus, right? These are the two solutions. How many know that there can be a letter? Only letter. And the letter will do the proceedings. Do you know that? See, that's the problem.
So this case has actually gone ahead a lot and it has backfired. Now, let me give you one example. In my time of working as an environmentalist, there's only one forest that has been successfully stopped of cutting, and that is in Hyderabad. In Gachibowli, there was a forest which was stopped from cutting in the last year itself. And a lot of people basically raised their voice. There were active protests on Instagram and via different platforms. And Chief Gawai gave the final verdict on the case. Now, as a person who's from Gujarat, who's seen BJP's rise, I've seen reform in the only place where Congress was in power and they wanted to cut the forest and BJP wanted to oppose it. And in all the other states where BJP is in power, the forest lands are being left and right sold to Adani, Ambani, any major industrialist. Tribals being cheated of their land in greed, like it's said, because of greed and everything. So how can I trust that the judiciary is not bought? Because for me, people are also not of concern. For me, ecology and environment is of concern.
Said I cannot change a person's notion, but sure I can show that judiciary is prevailing. That's the reason you, me, and madam and other guests today sitting
Can sit
are
and talk about
respective comfort zones and beyond it. I'm telling you, as somebody said, I'll use it again. If judiciary does not function for 2 days, usually it will be holiday on Saturday and Sunday. Check with the police station what they do. Maximum custodies, arrest happens on the Friday evening. So the evil-minded will be always at its best to make sure that the good does not come in its way. So they, as I told you, Trishant, बुरा करने वाला कौन है? Bhushan. Correct? Me, you, madam, and other guests are there. I am part of you. As much you can think, so much I can think. My aim is to distract, your aim is to construct. Okay? You are trying to protect, I am trying to damage. So all that I need to do is make sure that your people are busy. You people are occupied with your day-to-day life. चोरी मुझे करना है, I'll be waiting to hit the prey. Whereas you are a regular citizen, you have your own day-to-day obligations. Correct? I'll take advantage of that. Thief is focused on theft, stealing. Whereas a house owner with family is not always guarding his assets. चोरियां होती है ना? Owner, I am the owner of the house. I have a family at home. Still, we fail to save small things. That one fellow who is not even owner of the property, does not even live in my house, comes and takes it and go. So predators are always at job. Can we label them as predators? They are at their job. Now the challenge to us is living, not leaving, living our day-to-day life at its own pace. We should be able to take time out, okay, to make sure that predator is at bay. It takes effort, it takes peace at mind, it takes that kind of strong moral state. As an advocate, what I have seen in my clients in the last 19 years is the same. First, their prejudice, their notions, kill them 98%. 98% of their mindset will be destroyed by their notions, their prejudice. We will be given that 2% space where we need to grow, cultivate their mind, saying that don't give up. Don't give up. Okay? All about your concern is about money, right? I'll do it pro bono. All about your stepping back because you need to make the rounds of the court. You don't come. I'll take care. A 138 NI Act case, it's a criminal proceedings. Okay? Summary proceedings. It is a mandate for an accused to come to court every day, every appearance. But I'll prove it wrong. I did a case where the accused, my client, just came on the judgment day. There was the first appearance, there was the last appearance. The whole proceedings happened in his absence. The complainant morally lost the case when the complainant seen that accused is not coming to court, whereas I am a complainant, I am a victim, I am made to make the rounds of the court. They are not focusing on judging who is right, who is wrong. They are focusing कि किसको चक्कर मारना पड़ रहा है यार. Moral victory is done. Under that guise, they are prone to my attacks in the cross-examination. Focus, attention, being strong, standing strong. All that happens when you mentally prepare yourself that यहाँ पर ये हो रहा है और ये होना नहीं चाहिए, इसके लिए क्या चाहिए. And be vocal to it. जैसा Jaideep, right? Jaideep or Pradeep, what is his name? Jaideep, right? Madam, what is his name? Jaideep.
Sai
Deepak. He started voicing it. It spread at least to individual of a city. We spoke, it spread to 5 of us. Right? The word should go. Truth, triumph. You always keep your moral strong. Don't give up. If you see Ajit Doval, do you count on Ajit Doval?
Yes.
If you see his interview with regard to management, in that one life lesson he has given to the world, that I have the ability to bear injustice for long. because that's the way we can win over the evil. If you start worrying at the first instance, एक झाड़ काट दिया शुरू हो गए कि we lost it, we lost it, we lost it. No. Don't see MLA, MP, minister, IS officer. I have got so many IPS and IS officers to their knees just with the paperwork, not even facing them. They don't even know what is Shanti Bhushan Rao, how he looks. But they know one fellow became nightmare to them is Shanti Bhushan Rao. That was sand mafia dealing issues which came to me. So all that I can say as an advocate and as a brother citizen of this country, you need to be strong at your mind, and you need to be patient, and you need to believe that whatever you are trying to do is not a job of a week or a month. It's a continuous process. Let Adani come to Gujarat and let him start anything. I'm telling you, best example you have is this Mamata Banerjee case, Tata Nano Plant. She's
Not a
Indian.
good example, not a BJP state.
No, it's not about BJP or anybody. I'm saying about individuals. Irrespective of who's in power, everybody will do the same when they are in power, what I feel. Unquestioned power will make anybody a rogue, right?
Yeah.
So that example I can take it, and in Kerala, there was a power plant proposal and it was sanctioned. One of the renowned business houses of Hyderabad were the gainers. And how did the case come to me? Because their business consultant came to me and said, sir, I suggested my company to take a legal opinion on the land. They said, why to waste time? We are spending money everywhere, no? Why should we pay the advocate for legal opinion? After spending 50 crores, investing 50 crores of expenditure, okay, local tribals revolted and they stopped the power project. Now it is not going ahead. Then on that day, this consultant told this business entity that I was suggesting you an expenditure of 50,000. You did not value it. Today you lost 50 crores. So it is all mindset and notion of an individual or a group. If you really want to stick to it, even Gujarat can be changed. Whatever is concerning can be changed, questioned, and answers can be taken, and there can be a protective measures. You need to be determined. We face day in, day out. We get threat calls from those power entities. We give a damn because अरे मेरा profession over here, I cannot go back.
Yes, of course.
Right.
Thank you, sir. Okay, can criminals, cheaters, rapists be allowed to sit in the parliament or legislature?
That I answered.
Legislators? Yeah, okay. So I think we've covered all of the questions from the chat box, and I'd like to thank you for your time. Shivani ma'am had to leave us for some urgent thing, so she has dropped a message which I will deliver. Could you kindly connect? Could you please kindly join the breakout room link that will pop up on your screen shortly? Thank you again so much, sir, for your time, and I will connect with you in the breakout room link and get your feedback for us. And I'd like to thank all of the participants for joining, and especially ones who are with here till now, till about 1:10. Thank you so much for your presence. And if you have any queries, you can write down to us into the mail address that will be shown right after the session. Thank you for joining us, and I hope to see you next week again.
Thank you. Thank you.
So kindly join the link that is projected on your screen. I'll join it too. I'll see you there.